Month.
Yay! Baby Safety Month, my favorite month of the year. Well, it's September, which is also my favorite month.
September's good.
Kind of a coincidence.
It's back to school, and it's a really good time for Baby Safety Month because this is the time that everybody should be reassessing safety.
I agree.
I think. So, hello, everybody. I'm Natalie Diaz, and that is one Miss Julie Burt Nichols, depending if I'm pointing in the right direction. And we are here to celebrate a very exciting month called Baby Safety Month.
Baby Safety Month!
Baby Safety Month is sponsored annually by the JPMA, which is the Juvenile Products Manufacturers Association. And they are what I like to think of as the grandparents of the baby industry. So juvenile products, baby products, they are the ones that are creating regulations and creating not even regulations, it's really standards of what we should expect as consumers to make sure that our kids have the safest equipment available. They can't guarantee that we're going to be amazing parents. We know that one for sure. But they can guarantee that they are really going to do everything in their power to look out, making sure that our kids have the safest equipment out there. Right, Jewel?
Yeah, I say when you're shopping for baby gear, look for that little JPMA seal on the package, and then you're good to go.
It's true. So this month, we are specifically celebrating because I don't know if you know this, but something that Julie and I, unfortunately, are familiar with is that the JPMA educates us on stats of the industry. And did you know that unintentional injury is the leading cause of death of children ages 1 to 4? So it's not, we could look at a million things of why we think, accidents would happen, but unintentional injury is really up there. So making sure that your kids are using the safest products is one way to avoid those unintentional injuries.
Yeah, I would agree. It's so easy for your kids to get hurt when they're little because they're sneaky and they like to run off and grab things and pull them down. And so it's along with baby JPMA, it's also just so stressful when you're a parent of a young child because you're like, oh my God, I have to keep my eyes on them all the time. So we're hoping that with some of these safety tips we're going to give you today, it's going to make your life a little bit easier knowing that you're doing all you can on the go, specifically on the go.
Specifically on the go. And that is what we are here to talk about today. It's going to be 5 ways to keep your twinnies safer right now. So, Jewel, as I move my little notes all over the place, are you ready to kick this off with tip number 1?
I would love to. First of all, I want to make sure that you guys know that Natalie and I are both child passenger safety technicians. We are certified and we are able to do car seat checks. We're those kinds of people. Yep. So giving you these tips, these are the tips that we want to make sure you know, because these are the most important things they told us in our training to make sure that parents are aware of. Okay. So this is information you're also going to want to share with anybody who has your child in their car, in their stroller, on the go, taking them to classes, whatever, your nannies, your grandparents, etc. Okay. So keep that in mind. Okay. So number 1, so I want to make sure that you understand the proper usage of car seats, installation of car seats. I want you to know that child restraints are very often used incorrectly. So here's a statistic I'm going to read to you. 72% of nearly 3,500 observed car seats were misused in a way that could be expected to increase a child's risk of injury during a crash. And that's from the NHTSA study that they did in 2006. Yep. 72% of parents are doing something wrong in the installation and securing their child in the car. So that just goes to show you how easy it is to do something wrong. I mean, car seat manuals can be really confusing. So you are not alone. When my twins were born and I was reading that manual, I was like, wait, what do? I have to put them backwards. Why? This is so weird. And I basically was like, hey, Dad, can you just do this? Because I'm super pregnant and I don't want to deal with it. And my dad did. And then we went to a car seat check and my dad was not there. if he was, he would have gotten an earful from the tech, because the tech was like, who installed these seats? I was like, my dad. And he's like, this is super wrong. Like, I don't even know how he got it like this. He had it like wrapped around something, and it was not even like buckled. It was so weird. He's like, thank God you came, because this is so wrong. I would be so worried your children would be seriously injured. So make sure that you and your partner both know what you're doing. It's so important. Plus all of the people in your family that will be taking your children in a car by themselves. Make sure that they read that car seat manual, that you show them how to install a car seat, because you never know. They may have to take it out someday if they have to like bring their car to the dealership or who knows what. So make sure that they understand.
Jewel, do you know that in all the years that I've been working with car seats, I have never, and I really mean this, and I Girl Scout promise you guys, I have never had somebody come to me for a car seat install that had their car seats incorrectly, ever. Which is, so the thing is, when before I became a tech and I saw that 72% stat, I was like, that is totally untrue. That's ridiculous. They're inflating it to scare people. But it was, I have still to this day, and I just did an install in a Tesla, by the way, last weekend, and it wasn't right. So, you know, it's real, guys. It's real.
It's like there's so many different things that you have to do when you install the seat that like even just doing one thing wrong could compromise the seat in the event of a crash. So it's like, it's not just like, boom, you put it in and you're done. There's several different things you have to check. So anyway, we're going to give you some tips here. First of all, okay, I want you to know that any car seat that you can buy from a retail store, from any manufacturer, has been crash tested and has met federal crash performance standards. Now, we didn't even put this on our outline. We have like a whole list of things we want to talk to you guys about, but that just made me, it reminded me of how there are companies out there that are frauds. And I
was thinking about that.
You were just going to say that.
Yeah.
Some people like basically will like sell car seats online, especially on like eBay and Amazon and stuff like that. And they're not the actual car seats from like Britax or Kiko or any of those other manufacturers. They may be basically copying it. And the way to really know is you really want to make sure that you see the actual branded logo on the car seat. You want to make sure that there's full instructions on the car seat on those stickers. You want to make sure that you read that manual front to back. If it seems weird at all, you can even reach out to us and we'll help you try to figure out if it's a fake or not. Because if it is a fake, that's not good. No bueno. We don't want to use those seats because they haven't met the federal regulations for safety. They haven't been crash tested. Your kids could be in big trouble. Yep. Okay, so please do not try to buy car seats off of random websites.
No,
just seriously.
No tag sales, no garage sales.
Yeah, or go straight to the website of the manufacturer so you know you're getting a real product, or like literally walk into Target and buy it. Whatever. Just make sure it's from a legit place. Okay, moving on. This whole thing is going to be very long, by the way. I'm now realizing I keep going on tangents, but I just want to make sure that you guys are getting this information that we think is super important. Okay, now I get the question all the time: how do I know what car seat to get? Look, Julie, tell me, what's the best? What's the best car seat? Which one should I get? And I'm like, it doesn't matter what car seats I like. The best car seat for you is the one that you are going to be able to install correctly every single time. Yep. Okay, that is the most important thing. You could buy the cheapest car seat on the market, and if you can install that correctly every single time and buckle your kid in properly every single time, that is the car seat for you. Or you could buy a $500 car seat, and that one is the one that's the easiest for you to install. It's the easiest one that your child just really loves it, and that one's the best one for you. Yep. And it also has a lot to do with your car. Now, you may get like the most expensive car seat on the market, and you may own a Lexus, and then you try to install it, and you're like, why isn't this lining up? Why isn't this snug enough? I can't get it snug enough. So just because a car seat is expensive or a car is expensive doesn't mean it's a good match together. It's kind of like a marriage. You really have to find a good combination of car and car seat that are going to mesh well together, because every car is different. Every car seat is different. Mm-hmm. You really want to make sure that you have a good match. And we're going to say this over and over. Get your car seats inspected by a child passenger safety technician, because they're the ones who will really be able to say, I've tried everything I can and I can't get this seat in tight enough. That's actually happened to me during my training. We had a big event and there was this one grandma who came in with this car seat and we just couldn't get it. Like 6 teachers tried and none of us could do it. So we advised her to return it and to just get a different one. And she had like a nice car. So it just goes to show you. Okay. Oh, Christina Beckford, most informative month. Yes. You know, we love education. Okay. So let's keep going. Okay. So car seats should be chosen based on the child's height and weight, as well as the fit of the car seat in the vehicle, as I explained. So we're going for the child's weight and height. We want to look at that. Okay. It's not about the age of your child. It's about the size of your child. I'm a perfect example of that. My boys, when they were born, my twins, they were born at 38 weeks, pretty much full term, right? They were born 5 pounds 8 and 5 pounds 9. They were in their infant car seats for a really long time because they were teeny tinies. And still to this day, they are almost 9 and they're wearing size 7. So that size 7 in clothes is really like for a 7-year-old. So my boys are small. And so I could never really move to the next seat until they maxed it out. So you want to max out to height and or weight. Okay. So it's one or the other. If your child is too tall, then you're maxing out. Or if your child is too heavy, then you max out and then you go to the next one. Okay. So Nat, do you want to move on?
I do, because we have a lot to cover. And so the next thing that I want to talk about is change your system with the season. So many people get very comfortable with what they're doing that they don't think that, oh, you know, now summer's ending, I need to start thinking about the next season. If you live in an area, of course, where you have seasons. Some of us don't, but up here where Jewel and I are, we do. So the first thing I want to tell you is when it comes to car seat safety, please, no puffy coats in cars. You guys think like, oh, it's very cute and you're keeping them warm, and you are. And you're being a very good parent by making sure that your kiddos are warm enough. However, when coats are too puffy, it doesn't create enough, it doesn't allow you to make the car seat harness tight enough, because it's creating kind of an additional layer between the car seat harness and where your child is, and it's really creating a dangerous situation. So when you're going to put your children in their car seats, whether they are infants or whether they are 10 years old and still need a booster, they shouldn't be in a puffy coat. So a quick way to do this is take their coats off and then put their seatbelts on or put their harnesses on, and then slip their arms through their coat. So they're still wearing it, but their back is directly up against the car seat, creating the safest possible environment. So that's number one. Now, with that being said, think about dressing your kids because of that. Now, if you know that your kid is going to have to be outside without their puffy coat for a while, maybe consider some thin layers. But think about the whole season and how you're going to create the safest environment for your kids. Another thing is if they're little and you put them in a big giant bunting, once again, creating that puffiness, not giving you a good fit for their car seat. So consider buying blankets that go over the harness. There are a bazillion of them on the market. So not saying that I don't want to hear that you couldn't find one. We could help you find one. So if you're in a situation and you're like, Nat, I have this, I'm worried about it, what am I going to do? We will help you with that. And that's what Twiniversity is here for. And anytime, we'll tell you this a few times, you could email us at community@twiniversity.com or send us a direct message on any social platform. We'll always try to get your questions answered as quickly as possible. Now, next thing is change what's in your diaper bag. When the seasons are changing, products are probably going to need to be changed. First of all, how old are those wipes in your diaper bag? Is it time for a new pack? Are they all dried out? You may have sunscreen in your bag. And while I'm not saying that sunscreen isn't important for the winter months, I'm saying that lotion may be more important, because depending if you live in a home that has drier heat, your skin and the baby's skin may be a little bit more crinklier than usual. So think about having things like that. Think more layers of clothing. Think about if you're going to do a quick change because you had a diaper blowout, do you have an appropriate garment to change your child into? Or do you still have that onesie from 4th of July with the American flag on it? It's time to go through that diaper bag and swap out any products that are necessary from summer to winter to spring to fall, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I like to take any change of season as an opportunity to create an even safer space for my kiddos. So, what do I mean about that? Well, usually I would say once a season, we check our tire pressure. My husband checks the oil in our car. We make sure that we have enough oil going into the winter months because that's how our home is heated. So, this is a time to check your baby gear as well. Are your straps intact? Is your harness broken? Are your straps twisted and you didn't catch it last time? What about your stroller? Are your wheels, if you have air tires, is there enough air in those wheels? Do you have a problem? Is the cup holder chipped? Is the snack tray falling apart? This is the time to do a visual inspection of everything that your babies are going to touch, whether they are 6 months old or whether they are 6 years old. Just because they're getting older doesn't mean that safety shouldn't be a priority. So also, when you're in your car, if you keep stuff in your trunk for the kiddos, like you had sand stuff for the summertime, it's time to Marie Kondo that crap. That's it. So clear it out and get ready for the next season. Now, maybe you could use that sand bucket for snow. It depends on where you live. But if it doesn't bring you joy, it needs to go. Okay? All right. Jewel, do you want to tell them what time it is? Because according to my clock, it says
It's prize time!
What?
Let's hear you say prize time, everybody. Tell us prize time.
Shout it out, and so we can hear you in the back. So, Jewel, do you want to tell them what they could win, Jewel?
All right. Well, today's prize is the Twiniversity Complete Baby Safety Course with 6 months access. That's my song. I don't know. Is that from The Price is Right? I don't remember.
It could be something so much older. So we have a complete baby safety course here at Twiniversity, and we created this, during the pandemic, right? Because people weren't getting out to take a first aid CPR safety course. And so we did it for you because I don't believe there should ever be an excuse for not being educated properly to keep your kids as safe as possible. So this course was put together specifically for those of you that may not have something in your local neck of the woods, or you just like our style. Because you know what? Sometimes we do believe in delivering any medicine with a spoonful of sugar, and our baby safety course is no different. So if you would like to win a complete baby safety course, Jewel, what should they do?
They should say, I'm a safety girl, or I'm a safety guy.
I like it. So just shout it out in the chat, however you're watching this, go for it, shout it out, and we will pick a random winner and let you know that you're going to win, and you're going to actually have access to this class today. So we will make sure that by the end of the day, by the end of the workday today, that you have full access to it, because with Baby Safety Month, there is no better time than the present.
Yeah, right. I love this class. I taught half of it. So half of it is infant CPR, toddler CPR, child CPR, and choking and first aid.
Yep.
And then I teach the car seat safety and baby proofing. So we cover everything you could possibly need for safety. And this is a great class to have if you're looking to buy it. This is a great class to buy for our 5-month period, not 5 months, 5-year period, because then you could watch it every year. Okay, so just keep that in mind. Twiniversity.com/safety.
Yep. All right, Jewel, go to our next tip. We'll give them some chances to enter.
Okay. So next thing to talk about.
Oh my God. I never added our little thingies at the bottom.
There you go.
I've been missing that. I got too excited. Sorry. All right, there you go. All right, Joel.
Keep everyone on the same page. Let's all be on the same page, everybody. Please, let's do this. Time to talk to grandma, grandpa, nanny, your partner. Maybe have like a meeting, maybe outside in the backyard so we don't all get COVID. And you're going to want to make sure that you're answering all questions. You're doing any kind of like training that you need to talk to them about. And this doesn't just go for like car seats and strollers, sleep safety as well. Because, if your parents or a nanny clearly are going to be there when your babies are sleeping, they need to understand safe sleep as well. So make sure that they're up to date, especially our parents. Things were different when they were growing up. When they were parents, things were different. And, even if you were only 20 years old, It was still different for your parents back then. So just make sure they're up to date on everything. We have it all on our website. And if you have any problems finding stuff, just email us at community@twiniversity.com. We'll help you track down any information that you need. Okay. You want to check the cars of the people who will be driving your children. You want to make sure that their cars are inspected as well with your car seats in them. You want to make sure that there's like a tech there with you to talk to grandma and grandpa and be like, oh, you see, this is how you do it. You know, sometimes, usually it's easier for other people to tell your parents how to do things than for you. Does anybody else have that problem where sometimes they just hear it better from somebody else? I feel like that goes for kids too. So in general, just like let other people tell your parents what it is and what they need to do. Okay, discuss deal breakers with your family and people who will be caring for your children. What are like, no, we're definitely not doing this. Like for me, one of my deal breakers would be if my kids, if it's winter, they're not wearing their coats under those harnesses, like Nat mentioned earlier. Mm-hmm. You have to take off their coats before you get them in their seats. I don't know why some people think this is such a big deal and why it's such a chore to unzip something and take it off the kid and then turn it back around and put it on the front or grab a blanket and throw it on them. But express to your family just how important these deal breakers are to you. Now, don't have a deal breaker list of like 100 things. Yep. Make sure that it's like a limited list because then they'll be able to remember. If you give them too many things that are like, you must do, they're going to be overwhelmed.
But I want to add a deal breaker too. It's not just when they're little with car seat stuff. It's also they need to sit in a car seat. Because grandparents sometimes, if kids don't want to sit in the car seat, grandparents are like, oh, what's the big deal? Oh, we didn't have car seats for our kids, whatever. So sometimes your kids may get away with murder when it comes to other people. But this is a deal breaker because it's just not possible. It's just not something that should ever happen. And if it does, and if there is a betrayal of trust, you need to have a serious conversation with that person and then come up with a strategy of how it's never going to happen again. So, and I'm not saying that grandparents need a timeout or that the nannies need a timeout, but there are deal breakers and you need to really have a hard line for that. Jewel, can I pick a winner?
Oh, go ahead. I just picked one, but you go ahead.
Okay, I'm picking one. Here she is, Stacy Dorman. You are the safety mom of our choice right now. We are going to give you access. Just send us a direct message right now or after this live feed and just let us know that you were picked as our winner. Congratulations. Everybody say congratulations to Stacy. Okay, Jewel, after our deal breakers, what else do you got?
Okay, car seats should not be touching the driver or passenger seat in the front row. Just a little heads up about that. You want a little bit of a gap. And why is that? Because in the event of a crash, all of the seats are going to go forward, right? And you want a little bit of rebound for your seat. You don't want it to hit the seats in the front row because that's very jarring and that could also injure your child. So make sure there's a little bit of a gap. So this is something you really need to pay attention to when you're buying your car seats, when you're going to those stores. Ask the manager if you could take a sample out to your car to really see how it fits in the car. If you're tall, this is especially important because if you're in the front seat and you need your seat back really far, Nat has that issue. I am 5'2", so I don't have that problem. It's something I became aware of while doing this job. This is something you really need to pay attention to.
But it's not only important that Jewel checks it for her height, but that if I were driving Julie's car, is that going to be safe? So you can't just check it for your seat height. It has to be checked for the maximum seat back that it goes regardless. And then also, if your driver cannot drive comfortably, you can't just say, you're just going to have to drive like that, babe. Because now we're creating yet another problem because I've seen that happen right in front of me that I'm like, we can't put the car seats here. And they're like, no, it's okay. You know, the dads will be like, oh, I'll sit with my seat. No, you won't sit with your seat forward. So please make sure that. Jewel, can I jump to our next tip?
Absolutely. Okay. Go for it.
All right. So our next tip is always be ready to roll. A lot of times people think, okay, well, I got everything in the house. Nothing's going to happen. I don't know if anybody's picked up what the world is putting down, but you never know if and when something might happen. So you should be ready to roll. So what do I mean by that? Sometimes it's simple as, having an exit strategy of your home. God forbid there's a fire, which is part of our safety course. or it's having a complete first aid in your car because you just never know. So a few items that we think should be in your car is a real up-to-date first aid kit, not the one with the Band-Aids that have been there since 1982 that no longer stick to the paper, because we all know that we have those. We don't want to hear it. You need an up-to-date safety kit. And if this is done once a year, do it on your birthday or do it on the twins' birthday. But this is something that has to be done. You should have backup diapers, backup wipes, a roll of paper towels, a new roll of paper towels, ideally in a plastic bag so that it can't get wet if something's spilled in your trunk. Jumper cables, a portable car jump starter, the thing that fills up the tires. We use that a lot. I just bought a new one of those on Amazon because we have a slow leak, is what I understand it's called. I'm not much of a driver. You should also have very simple things like a flashlight. Do not depend on your phone to be your primary source of light if you need to change a tire on the side of the road.
Yeah, it'll drain your battery fast too.
It's not a good idea, guys. Okay. So another thing is hand sanitizer. Please have a ton of that. That could stay in there. You're good. And hand sanitizer could be used for a multitude of reasons. You could also use it to clean a wound. I know that will burn like horribly, but it's just going to make sure that everything is sanitary. And then also a cell phone charger with an AC adapter. And of course, a cell phone mount, because nothing should be loose in your car. Nothing. There should be nothing that could bounce from the back seat into the front seat. I did a car seat inspection where there was a car battery right behind the baby's car seat. And so you don't want to be like, Judge Judy, but then I would say like, God forbid you stop short. Where might this battery go? So things like that. Please make sure that there are no projectiles in the car and that you are always ready to roll. Jewel, are you ready for our next tip?
Let's do this. Okay. The last thing is don't settle when it comes to safety. Okay. We're not going to settle for this. Buy car seats in person if possible. Ask to try a sample in the car. I mentioned this before. A lot of people like to buy online. I really implore you to go in and try it. Or if your friend has a car seat that you're really looking at, maybe go over to their house and try theirs out. Okay. All adults. Oh, a lot of these we already covered. Adults who drive your kids must be able to install the seats themselves. Read your car's manual from front to back, in addition to your car seat manual. So the manual that came when you bought your car, that's probably sitting in the glove box for the past 10 years, read the portion in that about car seat installation. That's going to tell you the best spots in your car to put car seats. It's also going to show you where the tether points are in your car. If your babies are really little, you won't need tether points until they're forward facing, which typically doesn't happen until they're more like 3 or 4 years old. Okay. But that's where you're going to go to find out where all those spots are. Register your products. This goes for any product you ever buy. Okay. Not just baby stuff. Also, like when you buy a new stove, you're going to register that too. Yep. But what's the point of registering? Well, not only so that if it, breaks, that you can get, a new one if you're within the warranty period, but if there's a recall, they will contact you directly to make sure you know about that recall. And especially with baby stuff, this is super important. We try our best to post about baby recall stuff, but we can't always get every recall. So it's great, especially, okay, here's the thing. If you buy something secondhand, register that. Preach. Okay? If you're at a garage sale and you find some pack and play or something and you're like, it's great, it's like new, you can register that too, even though you weren't the first owner. Okay. So you just reach out to the company that you bought it from or that makes the product, and then you'll just register through their website, or you can just give them a call.
All right. Okay. Jewel.
Yes.
We have a special guest.
Ooh.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
okay. So this is unannounced, and even our friends from the JPMA don't know that this is happening, but there is somebody that we love a lot and that I have an amazing respect for that is also a JPMA Baby Safety Month ambassador. Did you know, Jewel, we're ambassadors, by the way? Here she is. One Miss Fancy Amy from Pregnant Chicken. Where are you? There she is.
I feel like I should do a chicken sign. Pregnant Chicken.
Oh my gosh, Amy.
Can you hear me okay and everything?
We can. Good. You look like you are auditioning for Devo with those glasses.
Oh my God. I just walked in the door. I was grocery shopping It's like, I'm like driving on two. I'm like, I gotta get back there. So I'm like, I have no makeup on. I put on my glasses, put my hair up, but I'm here.
We love it. So everybody, Twiniversity Universe, meet Amy. Okay, so this is our. I don't know if I have to say that there is a singleton Twiniversity, it would be Pregnant Chicken. I mean, the information that she delivers is with tongue in cheek, very sharp, edgy, and I find it very relatable. Perhaps you might not, but I know that, and that is why we are all friends.
Yeah, yeah.
That is our personality. So we asked Amy to come on, and while we give you so many tips for your kids, since she is the big pregnant chicken, what safety tip do you have for some pregnant chicks?
All right, I've got this one, and I'm asked this all the time, is the seatbelt adjuster things. Don't buy those. Just wear your seatbelt under your bump. Still use your chest belt thing. It's going to...
Is that the technical term?
I don't know. This thing. The thing that goes across and between your boobs or whatever, wear that because it's so important. And those aftermarket little adjuster things, they haven't been tested. Yeah. Your car is made to stop your frame from going through the windshield. So wear that safety belt. Do not just rely. Like I've heard some people wrote me and were like, I'm just using my airbags. I'm like, oh no, don't do that. So please wear your seatbelt. And it's like one of those things when people say like, what is the one thing that I should do? Like that is an absolute you have to do when I'm pregnant or whatever. And I always say, always wear your seatbelt, like continue wearing your seatbelt. Just wear it low under your bump because it's supposed to go across your hips. So if you imagine your skeletal frame and you're looking at your hips, that's where the lap belt is going across. So that's what you're going to try to do. And people are like, well, I'm worried about, if I get in an accident, something happening to my baby. And it's like, it pales in comparison to what would happen if you got in an accident and you weren't wearing your seatbelt. So please wear your seatbelt.
Yeah.
That's my big one.
I love it. And obviously, if you don't fit behind the wheel anymore, you shouldn't be driving. Don't try to ease yourself in.
Yeah, and the other one I would say that has come up, it is a weird one that has come up and is very unique, is that if you are in labor, that's another one, keep your seatbelt on. Because a lot of people, when they go to the hospital, or if you are, it's like, it's go time, you need to pull over because the person is exiting your body and that probably is going to hinder your ability to operate a vehicle, I'm guessing. So for most people. So that's another one is even if you're in labor, and I know that sucks, but like just sort of think of the repercussions if something did happen sort of thing. Yes. So wear your seatbelt.
Oh my gosh. Amy, I miss you.
I miss you too. You know what? And I'm so sad that I haven't, when was the last time I saw you too? Like it's been forever.
1987.
Oh my God. It's like my flock of seagulls haircut. And
I love it. I love everything. I love everything you're serving. I'm picking it up. I'm feeding it. I love it so much.
I love you. I missed you guys so much. And it was funny too, because I was talking to Emily, who works for us, and she was saying, oh, I'm just going to go on a Target run. And I'm like, curse you. I miss Target so much because I'm up in Canada, so I don't have Target anymore. So
I'll live stream from Target just for you next time.
No, please do that.
I want to say happy baby safety month to you and
to you too, madams.
Thank you. And I love that, just to pat ourselves on the back, that Amy's site and Twiniversity, we always make sure that safety is first. And I know that everybody wants to spend time on the cute things and picking out names. And we know that stuff is ideally important. But if you don't have a good foundation of safety, you can't even start thinking about that other stuff. So thank you so much, Amy. And thank you so much to the JPMA for letting us do this for you today. We are honored as always. I am thrilled to be a part of that wonderful community. And I just want to let you know that there is a ton of resources for baby safety month.
Yes.
Honestly, there's always a ton of information on the JPMA. Just go to jpma.org and you will find a poop ton of content for you guys. So just go to the parents tab, and we have another big surprise for you. You guys could be a baby safety month ambassador too.
Oh,
Anybody can. Grandparents, moms, dads, aunts, uncles, grocers, your kid's teacher at kindergarten, everybody is eligible to be a baby safety month ambassador. Just go over to their website, fill out the form, and I promise you it's something that you will not look back from. So thank you so much to everybody. Ladies, do you have anything to say? Any parting words for our wonderful audience today?
no. No, you guys are all awesome though. I'm just looking at the thread and it's like you have smart readers. I love it.
We do. We love our
Smart
people.
cookies out there.
We do. We are a very interesting family. So
Yeah.
I love it. So there you go. You go to babysafetymonth.org. Even easier. How great is that? Thank you, Amy, for popping that up. Jewel, thank you for helping us with our tips today. Amy, thank you for stopping by.
My pleasure. Thank you.
Those of you that are watching, it doesn't end here. Baby safety isn't just for this month. You know that. I know that. We're just making a big thing because it's kind of fun. So head on over to babysafetymonth.org to make sure that your home, your car, your every space is in tip-top shape. And until next time, guys, we'll see you later, alligators. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.